Hello guys, welcome to the lecture 57 of deep learning series. In this video, we'll be discussing the most common doubts obtained by people while discussing about this convolution neural networks. Okay, so this video is very much important. So please watch till the end to get better clarity about convolution neural networks and their working. First, I'll be explaining the very first doubt, that how CNNs are able to detect these edges. Now, as in humans, we are able to see with our naked eye these particular edges. Okay, now let's say we have an image of this kind. Okay, let's say this is our image which contains the pixel values of this kind. Okay, let's say this is our image. You can see that this part, okay, in this part there's a drastic change between the pixels. Okay, here on the left part I have zeros and on the right part I have all the ones. So there's a drastic change in this part. So this particular part is my edge. Okay, so as a human, by my naked eye I can see this is my edge. Okay, this is my edge, but how a convolution neural network is able to see this particular edge? Okay, so first what I'll be doing, I'll be sending this particular image into my convolution neural network. Okay, the initial stage my filter weights would be definitely random. Okay, I'm not talking about some fixed filters like Sobel and Pervit. So I'm just talking about some random filter, okay, which contains random weights. In the initial stages I'll be definitely having this random filter values. Now when this random filter gets convolved, okay, gets convolved on this particular image, this is the actual detected edge. Okay, this is my actual detected edge. Now when I convolve this particular filter on this particular image, at the final, okay, I'll be getting some feature map. Okay, I'll be definitely getting some feature map, and when I pass this feature map through the multiple convolution layers, at the end, okay, at the end, let's say the detected edge is of this kind. Okay, is of this kind. Okay, so I have started with some random weights and I have got this particular edge has been detected. Okay, so how this happens is, as the weights are random, okay, as the entire weights of the filter are random, what this filter does, it obtains some, okay, it just outputs some random edge. Okay, it just outputs some random edge. Now based on this, okay, based on this edge I'll be obtaining an label, and based on that label definitely my loss will be larger, and I'll be back propagating through the entire process, and I'll be updating all my weights. Right, now let's say in my second epoch training, okay, in my second epoch training, again I have obtained this particular edge. Okay, I have obtained this particular edge, and again you can see this is not the edge I wanted. So what I'll be doing, I'll be again back propagating, updating this weights and bias values based on the large loss value. Okay, based on the large loss I'll be updating all my weights and bias values. Now let's say in this way some few training steps have been completed. Now let's say at the 8th epoch, okay, at the 8th epoch this particular edge has been detected. Okay, this particular edge has been detected. You can see that this edge and this edge are closer to each other. Okay, they really match, right? Okay, they really match. Now what will be the value of loss? It will be definitely lower. Okay, so what happens, the back propagation happens, and again slightly the weights and bias are updated. Okay, in this case the weights and bias are updated in a larger scale, but in this case, okay, in this case when the edge detected is closer to the original edge, then loss would be definitely lower, and the weights and bias are updated minimally. Okay, they are updated minimally. Now again in the next step of training, again this edge gets better. Okay, now what neural network understands, okay, entire convolution network understands, as the loss is lower, this edge I have detected is like reasonable edge. So what I need to do is, I need not increase my, like I need not change the dimension of this particular edge. I need to put the dimension as it is and just adjust this particular edge. Okay, I need to like be confident about this particular edge. So in the further steps of the training, what neural network tries to do is, it tries to be confident about this particular edge. Okay, so in this way, in the further parts of the training, the edge gets adjusted, and finally this edge will be detected and loss will be lower. Okay, so this entire process happens in a trial and error manner. Okay, this entire process happens in a trial and error manner. Now let's see how. Now in the initial stages of the training, as I'm using some random filter, the random edge has been assigned. Okay, so when I pass this when I use this edge for loss calculation, the loss will be higher. Okay, will be definitely higher. So based on this, weights are updated. Now in the second epoch, this edge has been assigned randomly. Okay, this edge has been detected randomly, and based on this edge, again loss will be definitely higher, and again weights and bias are updated. Okay, so in this way, as the training goes on, it tries to adjust this edge. Okay, it basically tries to adjust this particular edge. Okay, it tries to adjust in this way, it tries to adjust in this way, it tries to adjust in this way. So once that particular point is detected, the loss will be lower. So from then the neural network tries to make this particular edge in a better manner. Okay, just puts the dimension as it is and just tries to be confident about this particular edge. So in this way, the edge detection happens in an convolution neural network. Okay, so in this way, entire edge detection happens in a convolution neural network through trial and error manner. Okay, in the initial stages, it makes basic like various trials, and based on the trials, errors will be calculated, and once point is detected, okay, and particular point is detected, definitely the error would be low, and in the further parts of the training, the convolution neural network will try to be confident about that particular edge only. Okay, it tries to make that edge better. Okay, so that it can match the original image edge. Okay, so in this way, edge detection happens in a convolution neural network. And the second point I want to discuss is, now in a convolution neural network architecture, the initial layers, okay, the initial layers detect edges, and later layers detect textures, and further layers detect objects. That is, from simple features to, we are moving on to complex features. Okay, from simple features to, we are moving on to some complex features. Now let's see how actually is this happening. Okay, we have discussed this theoretically, but till now there is no proof for this particular point. Okay, that is, the initial layers edges have been detected, and at the later layers, as we move on, the more complex features are being detected. Okay, there is no actual proof for this, but we can explain this through a concept called receptive field. Okay, through a concept called receptive field, we can explain this process in detail. Okay, now this receptive field is nothing but the amount of region of image that has been seen by a pixel. Okay, now let's take this example. Now let's say, let me change the color. Okay, now let's say this is my image. Okay, now after first convolution layer, this is my filter. Okay, this is my feature map. Now this particular pixel is made by combination of, okay, is made using these 9 pixels. Okay, this particular pixel is made using these 9 pixels. Okay, so this is the receptive field. Okay, this entire region is the receptive field of this particular pixel. Okay, this particular pixel is made up of these 9 pixels, and this entire region is the receptive field of this particular pixel. Okay, so this is called receptive field. Okay, the concept of receptive field. Now let's try to prove this particular point. Okay, that is at the initial layers edges and later layers objects. Now this point can be proved by this formula. Okay, that is RFL is equal to RFL minus 1 plus KL minus 1 into JL minus 1. Okay, so receptive field at layer L is equal to receptive field of previous layer plus KL minus 1, that is kernel size at layer L minus 1 into JL minus 1, that is jump, that is stride accumulated. Now we are basically assuming JL minus 1 as 1. Okay, most of the cases we assume stride value as 1. So the formula gets transformed to RFL is equal to RFL minus 1 plus KL minus 1. Okay, now I'll be explaining with a detailed example. Now let's say we have a 5 cross 5 image. Okay, this is my 5 cross 5 image. Okay, this is my 5 cross 5 image. Now I'm performing convolution with an 3 cross 3 filter. Okay, this is my 3 cross 3 filter. Okay, I'm just convolving this 3 cross 3 filter on this particular image. So the resultant feature map I'll be getting is an 3 cross 3 feature map. Okay, you can see once you try to convolve on this first part, you'll be getting this pixel, and next on the later part you'll be getting this pixel, and next on the later part you'll be getting this pixel. Okay, again you will be moving one step down, and again in this way you will be moving further steps horizontal and vertical to obtain this one feature map. Okay, this is for one convolution layer. Okay, this is for first convolution layer. Now let's try to calculate the receptive field of this convolution layer. Now RF1, okay, RF1 is equal to RFL minus 1, that is RF0, okay, RF0. Now what is the value of this RF0? Okay, now this pixel, okay, this pixel of the image, okay, this is my actual input image. Now this image doesn't depend on any other pixels, right? Okay, now here if you see this particular pixel, okay, this particular pixel value depends on these 9 values, but here in my input image this pixel doesn't depend on any value. So RF0 is equal to 1. Okay, the initial value of receptive field is always equal to 1. So 1 plus KL minus 3. Okay, this KL is nothing but stride, okay, dimension of the stride, that is 3 minus 1. So the answer comes out to be 3. So the receptive field of my first convolution layer is 3. Okay, so this is for single dimension. Now if I calculate for another dimension, that is I cross j, so I have calculated for I, and if I calculate for j, it would be 3 cross 3. So this is 9. Okay, so the receptive field is 3. Okay, the receptive field is 3, but total number of pixels are 9. Okay, so I'll be telling you how. Now this particular pixel is obtained by these 9 pixels, right? Okay, this particular pixel value is dependent on these 9 pixel values. Okay, this particular pixel value is dependent on these 9 pixel values. So this is the receptive field. Okay, this is the amount of like image, okay, amount of image seen by this particular pixel. Okay, this pixel sees these 9 pixels, again this pixel sees these 9 pixels, again this pixel sees these 9 pixels. Okay, now to be more precise, now let's say I have 256 cross 256 image. Okay, 256 cross 256 image, and this image is very much larger. Now my receptive field is 3, that is 3 cross 3. Okay, in my first convolution layer I'll be seeing this part of the image. Okay, you can see very small part of the image. Now what will be in this very small part of the image? There will be smaller edges, right? Okay, there will be smaller edges in the very small receptive field, right? Okay, you can see receptive field is 3 cross 3, that means very small. Okay, very small receptive field. Now in this very small receptive field, what features will be? Definitely edges, right? Okay, definitely edges will be lying in this small receptive field. Okay, so in this receptive field I have total of 9 pixels. Okay, in this 9 pixels I'll be having these smaller edges. Okay, when I compare with 256 cross 256 image. Okay, now let's say I'm moving on to my second convolution layer. Okay, I'm sending this feature map into my second convolution layer. Now in my second convolution layer, this feature map will be my input. Okay, the output of convolution layer 1 will be the input to my second convolution layer. Now again I am convolving it with 3 cross 3 filter. Okay, I am applying this filter on this, so I only have like the size of the filter and image are equal, so I'll be getting a single pixel. Okay, at the end of second convolution I got this particular feature map as my output. Now this feature map, okay, that is only this pixel. Okay, this pixel is formed by these 9 pixels. Okay, in my second convolution layer this pixel is formed by these 9 pixels. Okay, first let me calculate the receptive field value. Okay, RF2 is equal to RF1 plus KL minus 1, that is K2. Okay, basically K2. Now RF1 that we have obtained is 3. Okay, RF1 is 3, and plus what is the filter size over here? I'll be having 3 minus 1, so it is equal to 5. So receptive field value is 5, and the total number of pixels are 25 pixels. Okay, because 5 cross 5, so total number of pixels are 25 pixels. Okay, now how 25 pixels? Okay, now if you see, it is made up of only these 9 pixels, right? Now how 25 pixels? Okay, if you see this particular feature map, this single pixel is only made up of these 9 pixels, but how we are saying 25 pixels? Because these pixels, okay, now the pixels in this particular feature map have been obtained from previous convolution. Okay, have been obtained from previous convolution, that is convolution of this particular filter on this image. Okay, now I'll be proving how we have got this 25 pixels. Okay, now this particular pixel, okay, that this particular pixel in my second convolution layer feature map have been obtained by convolving the filter over here. Okay, convolving the filter in this part. So total number of pixels are 9. Okay, first total number of pixels are 9. Next I'll be moving on to this particular pixel. Okay, next this particular pixel, how I have obtained by convolving this part. So I have already included these 6 pixels, so only I will be including these 3 pixels, so plus 3. Next again you move one step ahead, this part, okay, these 3 pixels from this, so plus 3. Yeah, plus 3. Again next I'll be how this particular pixel is obtained by again moving one step down. Okay, moving one step down, already these 6 pixels are included, so only I need to include these 3 pixels, so plus 3. Next again I'll be moving one step ahead. Okay, this, okay, on all these 8 pixels have been included, only this 1 pixel is not included. Next again plus 1. Next again I'll be having plus 1 because this pixel, again plus 1. Okay, again plus 1. Now again this part, okay, again I'll be moving on to this part, so 3. Again similar to the previous like previous convolution, 3 plus 2. Okay, again 3 plus 1 plus 1. Now calculate the total number of pixels. 9 plus 3, 12, 15, 18, 20, 23, 25. Means this particular pixel is made up of 25 pixels. Okay, this particular pixel is made up of 25 pixels. Means this single pixel sees 25 pixels. Okay, 25 pixels. Now as I in my first convolution layer, okay, in my first convolution layer the receptive field has been 3 cross 3. Now as I move further in my convolution, the receptive field has been increasing. Okay, the receptive field has been increasing, means here only small edges will be detected, and in my later convolution layers you can see what will be in larger receptive field. Okay, in my larger receptive field there will be textures. Okay, in much larger receptive field I'll be having objects. Okay, I'll be having objects. So in this way, as you move forward in the convolution, more complex features will be detected. Okay, this is the entire proof. Okay, so most of the people say the convolution layers are black box models, we can't explain them much deeper, but this is the concept of receptive field and which can explain this concept in very detail. Okay, so this is entire concept of receptive field, and this is how edges are detected in the initial layers, and later layers will be having textures, and in the final layers will be having objects being detected. Okay, so from simple to complex features. Okay, now I'll be explaining with an code example also. Okay, you see this is that particular code. I am making necessary imports, and I'm using here VGG-16 model. Okay, I'm already using some pre-trained model instead of training from scratch. I'm using VGG-16 model, and these are the various convolution and also non-convolution layers in my VGG-16 model, and from that VGG-16 model I'm only extracting my convolution layers. Okay, these are all my convolution layers. There are total of around 30. Okay, I guess around there are 30 convolution layers. Okay, so I'm just applying necessary transformations to my image. Okay, these are my necessary transformations to my image, and then I'm deciding at which stages, okay, after which convolution layers I'm trying to view my feature maps. Okay, so at the 0th layer, okay, that is at the very first layer, okay, that is at the very first convolution layer I am trying to view my feature maps, and at the 10th layer I'll be viewing my feature maps, and at the 20th layer I'll be like looking my feature maps. Okay, so then I'm writing a function to plot this particular feature maps. You can see at the very first convolution layer these edges have been detected, that is like high level features. As you move on to the very deeper convolution, you can see some complex features have been detected. Okay, like very minute features have been detected, that is from simple features to like most complex features. Okay, from simple to most complex features have been detected. Okay, so this is entire code. So if you want, I'll be linking the entire code in the description, so try to check this out. So hope you guys like this video. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.